Have you ever felt completely stuck? Like you're trapped in a pattern you just can't seem to break? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful new way of understanding and overcoming addiction. And it all comes from Dr. Donna Marks' book, Exit the Maze. Now, this isn't just another self-help book. Oh no, this is a direct challenge to the way we've been treating addiction for decades. Dr. Marks puts forward this pretty radical idea. What if all addictions, and I mean all of them, actually come from one single cause? And if that's true, it means there might just be one single solution. And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling the book is talking about. Being stuck in an addiction feels just like being in a maze. You can change directions, you can run down a different hallway, but you're still trapped inside. The point isn't to find a new corner of the maze, it's to find the way out altogether. So, let's start with the book's first big idea, which is that maybe we've been misdiagnosing the problem this whole time. We see all these different addictions, but what if they're not separate issues at all? What if they're all just symptoms of one single problem? Dr. Marks keeps the definition of addiction incredibly simple, which I love. She cuts through all the jargon and just boils it down to this. If you keep doing something even though it's causing you pain or negative consequences, that's an addiction. It doesn't matter what the thing is. According to the book, all of these things you see here, they're not separate addictions. They are just different corridors in the very same maze. Each one is just a different symptom of the same underlying issue. And you know what? That's actually good news. It means you're not fighting a war on a dozen different fronts. You're just fighting one battle. Okay, so if the diagnosis is wrong, what does that say about the treatment? Well, it probably means the treatment is going to fail too. Let's take a look at the book's critique of the current system. Dr. Marks calls this the treatment trap. And it's this. Our current system is obsessed with the behavior, the drinking, the gambling, the overeating. But by focusing only on the symptom, it completely ignores the root cause. And that means the real problem never, ever gets solved. This quote from the book really puts it perfectly. When you only treat one symptom, you just create this frustrating cycle. You might stop one behavior, sure, but that underlying cause, it's still there, just waiting to pop up in a new and different way. It's a merry-go-round. And this is exactly what that merry-go-round looks like in real life. An alcoholic might stop drinking, but then they start overeating. A smoker quits cigarettes and suddenly becomes a workaholic. The specific action changes, but that deep, core feeling of emptiness, that stays exactly the same. The book makes it clear, this isn't a failure of your willpower. It's a predictable result of a broken system. So, if treating the symptoms is just a dead end, what is the real cause? This is where we get to the absolute heart of the book's argument about the single root of every addiction out there. Let's really just pause and think about this. What could possibly be the one thing that connects all these different destructive behaviors? What's the common thread that ties the workaholic to the drug addict to the compulsive shopper? The answer, according to Dr. Marks, is this: the invisible hole. This is it. This is the root cause of it all. It's not some chemical imbalance you're born with, and it's not just a bad habit. It's a wound. And what exactly is this invisible hole? It's this feeling right here, a deep, persistent ache, a constant sense that something fundamental is missing from your life. It's an emptiness that every single addictive behavior is desperately trying to fill, even if it's just for a few moments. So where does a hole like that come from? Well, the book argues it's created by unhealed emotional trauma, often starting way back in childhood. Experiences that left us with this core belief that we are somehow less than, that we're unworthy, or that we're fundamentally unlovable. That wound is what creates the void. But, just identifying the cause is only half the battle. If the problem is a void inside of us, then the solution has to be about filling it. So let's turn to the book's powerful and, honestly, beautiful solution. It's a pretty logical question, right? You can't fill a hole that was created by a feeling of being unlovable with things like alcohol or money or food. Those are just temporary fixes. So what's the only real cure for a lack of love? Self-love. That's it. This is the book's one and only solution. And we're not talking about a vague, feel-good idea here. We're talking about self-love as a practical, active, healing force. It is the only thing that can truly fill that invisible hole and heal the wound that created it. This quote completely reframes the whole idea of recovery. Self-love isn't just something you do on the side. It is the direct replacement for the addiction. The idea is that by actively choosing an act of self-love instead of the addictive behavior, the addiction itself just starts to lose its power. Okay, so we've talked about the maze, we know the cause, and now we know the one true exit. So how do we actually start walking down that path? The book lays out a really clear set of principles to guide you on this journey. These are the keys to get out of the maze. It's about consciously choosing love over fear in all those little moments of your day. It means having the courage to face your feelings instead of running from them or numbing them out. It requires forgiveness for yourself and for others, which is maybe the most powerful healing tool we have. And most importantly, it's about seeing your addiction not as your enemy, but as a messenger, a signal that's pointing you toward the healing you so deeply need. So let's just end with this thought. What if your struggle wasn't a life sentence? What if it was actually an invitation, an opportunity to heal something so much deeper inside you and to finally find the version of yourself you were always meant to become? The exit is right there. The only question left is, are you ready to take that first step towards it? If this way of looking at things resonates with you, we invite you to continue on this journey. For more support and content to help you on your path, please do us a favor and like this video, and subscribe to our Recovery Anonymous channel. Thanks so much for being here.